Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and it's today on Rock Metal Podcast. We have Exodus, the new album called Persona Non Grata, which is released on November 19th via Nuclear Blast Records. And I'm being joined by Tom, Here's some more information about why the beatings will continue, why morale is low, and what sort of clickbait we're talking about here. So, Tom, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be here with you.
Absolutely great to have you on. Now, I guess let's start with the album, Persona Non Grata. I can't remember exactly what number album this is, but my first question is, take
11.
us through 11. Wow. What was did you guys have a goal walking into this? Like, hey, it's number 11, let's do insert.
Well, our goal was we just wanted to, make a kick-ass record. COVID was raging, and we just got off a really good tour, and we were booked to do more legs of that tour. And then all of a sudden, the bottom dropped out of everything, and we were like, well, what are we going to do? We were slated to make new music anyway. We hadn't had a new record since 2013. So we're like, how are we going to do this logistically? Because everything was shut down. So we were like, we had a friend named Steve Lagudi who had a bunch of recording gear, and we just kind of like, I have a house in the mountains in Northern California, and we had a giant man cave with an accompanying studio, and we just kind of like DIY'd it,
Very, very Led Zeppelin of you guys. You just had the guy with the gear roll up in the van and just grab a spot.
Exactly. Literally just, well, it was actually a big truck that backed down our driveway with pallets full of recording gear. And our engineer was like, oh my God, this is going to be fun. And, we were in the mountains at my place. So like everybody felt safe because we were virtually like just a bunch of dudes quarantined in the mountains making heavy metal,
It sounds romantic.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And, Gary and me stayed up here for months just because of this. Everything starts with a guitar riff, and then you add drums to it, and everything else kind of stacks on top of it,
Mm-hmm. That's kind of yes.
We had a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. It almost sounds like, why didn't you guys do that sooner? It sounds like an awesome way to record.
And it sounds like I think we're gonna do it that way, for times to come, for sure. Also,
Yeah. Man, oh man. Have some studio shots, I'm sure, of you guys just taking in the mountains in between those sweet guitar takes, drum takes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we did some photo sessions up here too, and everybody got into the mountain vibe, I mean, I live here probably 2/3 of the time anyway. I kind of like migrate between here and San Francisco. San Francisco's 4-hour drive from here.
Mm-hmm.
But I spend most of my time, especially the summers and falls, up here, and and COVID was raging, so we're like, we can do this way, so we do what we can,
Yeah, absolutely. And then did forest fires have any kind of an impact, or was this not happening yet?
Well, last year we didn't have any fires in this area. Like this year we did. We had the Dixie fire, and I don't know where you are now, but we got evacuated for about, I think, 3 weeks up here, and I had my friend come and rescue my drums and take them away to somewhere else just in case the fire encroached on our area. Last year,
save the drums.
Yeah, drums, guns, and guitars. Go get them.
That's right.
Anyways, like last year, there was fires in other areas that were sending ash to this area. So like there were times when we were recording and like the air quality was bad outside, and there was ash falling down from the sky, and it was crazy times for sure. But we just kind of worked through it. We were all inside doing our thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm not too far. Go straight north, and then at Vancouver, just go a little bit east. I'm in Edmonton.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we had definitely a lot of air quality issues, and you could smell, what was going on. So
sorry about that.
it's okay. I guess
it was coming from here, I'm sure.
Yeah. Cool. But morale needed to improve while you guys were working on the record.
Yeah.
So there were beatings that ended up happening as a result of, morale needing to improve. But I guess taking us back, you mentioned it starts with a riff and then you add on some drums. But is there a theme to the record, maybe lyrically?
I think there's lots of different themes because, everybody, we had so much time to like work on this music. And like, I even got into lyric writing. I hadn't written lyrics since probably Bonded by Blood. I wrote part of And Then There Were None. But, for the first time in 35 years, like I wrote a song, and it just, I think creativity was flowing in all of us, I think, because like the circumstance and like how we were doing it. And, we were basically a bunch of dudes quarantined in the mountains making heavy metal. So we had all this time, and it just felt like there was a special kind of flow going on, in everybody that, in all of us. So we just kind of tapped into that and kept going, there was no like, let's make this the formula. There was no like, let's write lyrics, predominantly about this, and let's just kind of be in the moment and go for it. Like Gary literally rolled out of bed and wrote The Fires of Division on guitar. Like he was slated to go home that day, and he rolled out of bed and, I got a song. He went in there and literally tracked the scratch tracks for me to rehearse to.
Yeah.
And made up the rhythm parts, some of them on the spot, like as he was tracking. And he's like, I don't know how that happened, but it just happened. And I was like, bro, don't stop what you're doing. You're in the zone. Go with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was one of my questions. Okay, 11th studio album. Haven't really done an album since 2013. So did you guys walk in with a goal? But it sounds like it just turned into the zone, just getting into that moment, and what came out of it was natural.
It was pretty natural and pretty organic, actually. And, I hate to use like such cliche hippie words, but organic is the best way I could describe it, because it just, things just happened, and, music just happened. And I think, because of the layoff, because of the state of things, because of everybody's frustration and not being able to work, like, we kind of like channeled it all into making new music, because basically we went to take care of the only thing we could take care of and do at the time.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Now you mentioned something about saving the drums, and I'm on the Wikipedia page, which may or may not be entirely relevant, but it looks like they're Yamaha oak drums with a maple snare.
I used a few different snares on the record. I always do, but I used a maple absolute snare, and I used I have a stainless steel, which is the deepest of the snares I have. I have a really old Rogers Dynasonic from like the 70s. That's like chrome over brass. I used that snare on a tune or two, I think. And but the kit was, the toms and the bass drums are all Yamaha Oak Customs. It's like a 07 or 08 model, I think. They don't make those drums anymore. Which is part of the reason I had them evacuated during the fire, because I was like, I'll never be able to get this drum set again, so go get them.
Yeah. What is it about the oak that you like on everything, other than the snare, obviously?
I just think, I love pretty much all series of Yamaha drums. Sound amazing to me, and it's been part of my sound since the mid '80s. And the oak just has a warmth and an attack like that doesn't sound like any other drum. And I have another set of live oak customs that are good, and they're like all attack, so they're killer for live. But recording, I prefer the oak, the regular old oak customs from 08, 09, maybe 07. My kit was made, I'm not sure, but I've used it on 2 records now, and it just crushed on this one. Like I was like, holy shit. And the snares, I just pick those and I rig them all the same, so they all have a similar sound but different like body approach. When you smack them, and you got to hit them like they owe you money.
That's right,
because the beatings will continue.
That's right. Snare. How's your morale today? Yeah. I know old studio trick. I've seen a lot of guys doing it, especially in like the 70s, like the Eagles. They'll flip the stick around on the snare to get more whack out of it. Do you do that as well? Gave us some things to talk about because we were going to chat about, how you choose a snare, whether it's, how do you choose the stainless steel one over the maple one or whatever else. But we could also chat about sticks. I've got here that you use Vic Firth Extreme 5B.
Actually, no, I use medium weight 5As.
Okay.
All right. As I've gotten older, you're still trying to get from here to over here in a hurry. And like those big sticks, they sound great when you whack the snare with them. But, you can get any of the 5 series, 5A, 5B, super, whatever you just call them. Those are amazing too. But 5A is just kind of my jam right now. So cool. As far as choosing a snare drum, they invited me years ago to go to the Burbank when they were in Burbank. Yamaha showroom was down there, and I went down there and beat on snares for a couple of days or for a day, and there was some that I really liked, and there was one also that I have in Europe, and I haven't been able to get it over here yet. It's called the Sensitive Maple. Ooh. And it's like it's a 6.5 deep, and it's just incredible. That's the main one I use in Europe. I look for something, something that's between a crack dealer and something that when you hit it, like somebody might excrete a little bit out of their body. Like if you hit it hard enough, just so, sometimes the snare drum chooses you. You just hit it and you go, wow, that's the one. That's what I'm looking for, kind of like a dog. Mm-hmm. We don't choose animals. Animals choose us.
Right.
Maybe snare drums have that ability too. I don't know.
They do, as well as some vocational careers.
You sound like a drummer.
A little bit. And my son, whom you just met, is taking drum lessons. So he was actually just practicing, and I was like, damn, for a 7-year-old, like, cool. So I also play guitar, so I think he and I are going to start jamming here. That's my new goal by the end of the year. Is I don't have any acoustic guitars because I got rid of them, but I'm going to grab an acoustic guitar so he can just sit at his drums and I can just sit there and we can jam and start to have that human connection that can only exist from just jamming.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's fun. I mean, I felt a natural connection jamming with Gary so many years now, and who would have thought who would have thought it would go on this many years?
Very true. Very true. Yeah. A household name. And I remember I was chatting with, oh man, who was it? The name is escaping me, but it's another thrash band that's been around for a very long time. And one of the comments he made was, I was supposed to die like 30 years ago. I wasn't supposed to still be making thrash records in my 50s. Like, this is weird.
That sounds like Bobby Blitz from Overkill. or I don't know, somebody from Anthrax maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're 20 something and let's face it, when we were doing this as younger men, it was probably a little bit more about the party. And now that we're older men doing this, or older, I shouldn't say just men because women do it too. But I think that, I think we respect the journey a lot more and what's left of it as older guys, older people doing this, and what's left of that journey. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it sounds like you guys aren't looking to stop anytime soon.
No, I mean, I'm sure the fuse is shorter on like where it all stops as opposed to where it all began.
Yeah.
I mean, but right now we're enjoying it, and, we're still making good music, and metal's been like a roller coaster. Like, there were times when, the scene wasn't that great, and, we couldn't get a good gig anywhere. And now like the world is different and it's doing good again. So we're happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just actually trying to remember the last time I saw you guys live. It's probably been a few years at this point. I don't even remember where I was because I've moved around a lot over the last few years. But I remember at the time, I don't know the guy's name, but you guys had a new singer at the time. And I remember him talking about, probably. I remember on stage he was talking about a lot, like, I'm living the dream, I'm here, I got the gig.
God, that sounds like, what's his name, Mark Wahlberg in Rockstar.
It does, doesn't it?
The dream for now, buddy.
Yeah, the dream for now. Ha ha.
Yeah.
I love that movie, though. Who doesn't love that movie? I should go listen to that soundtrack. That's what Zach Wilde and whoever else. Cool. Sweet. So we chatted about recording in the mountains. We chatted about just being in the moment, which, oddly enough, is that unusual kind of for you guys to just let things flow like that?
No. I mean, I hate to use that hippie word organic again, but I mean, the way the writing process happens, like we never go in with a goal. I mean, I think we've made 2 concept albums so far, Exhibit A and Exhibit B. And that wasn't even end. It just kind of happened, you know? Yeah. So no, it's not out of the ordinary for us to just let things happen.
Mm-hmm. Groovy. We also got to chat with your stick guy because you're back in the game and choosing those sticks to beat on things until morale improves. And then for everybody listening in who wants to stay in touch with Exodus, if you don't know where to go at the moment, then in the show notes below is the website, exodusattack.com, as well as 2 YouTube links to The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves, as well as Clickbait. And if by the time this airs, there are more videos available, then I'll put those in. But at the time of recording, that's what is available. Persona Non Grata, 11th studio album out November 19th via Nuclear Blast Records. Tom, that concludes my questions.
Thanks, dude.